Hey everyone, welcome back to 30-day energy boost. We're in week 3. Can you believe it? We've already been through week 1 and week 2, and we're reporting now on the 3-day challenge. So hopefully you're able to get through the weekend. And most people were doing hydration. Huge, isn't it? Drinking enough water, and you realize just how little you're drinking. It's really amazing. This week we're in topic number 3, and I had named it Move because I really intended on focusing on exercise and how that can give you energy. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized I really wanted to talk about stress and movement and exercise, because stress really affects our energy. And in fact, it affects true energy, shall we say. What happens is we can get adrenalized and we get kind of hyper, if you will. And that adrenaline is a false energy. It actually wears out the body in the end. And what we're looking for with this energy boost is learning how to tap into our true energy. So it comes from the body functioning really well. And you can't get there unless you're handling your stress. But that said, movement helps you handle the stress. Hey, good morning, Renee, or afternoon, wherever we are now. So I wanted to quickly share with you my own personal story around stress. This is something that's really been near and dear to my heart, and especially teaching around it because of what I learned from myself. When I was 21, I was really sick. I was really, really sick. I would get something, take antibiotics, I'd feel better in the morning, and by night I would have something else. And it went on for 6 months. And when my parents finally said, all right, we got to do something, and they took me to the Mayo Clinic and they studied me for a couple of days. We did a billion tests, maybe not a billion, but quite a few. And what they discovered is I had chronic idiopathic neutropenia. Chronic meaning this is just what I was going to live with. Idiopathic, as the doctor says, it means the idiot has no idea where it came from. Neutropenia means a really low white blood cell. I have almost zero immune system to this day. I still have it. And he said the best we can guess is you stressed your immune system away. And the way I'd been living, it was very much possible. And that was when I began to reevaluate my life. I began to explore yoga a little bit more. I began to study around stress and relaxation. And actually my master's degree, which was in exercise physiology, I specialized in stress management and learning more. So y'all, this is my jam talking about this. So I'm really excited to share this information with you. So let's talk a little bit about the stress response. I want to explain why my immune system was worn out as a result of chronic stress. So just a really quick physiology lesson. You probably are familiar with this, but maybe not. And I want to make sure we're all starting with the same foundation. Stress is meant to be the fight or flight response. It is a good thing. We need it. When something happens in our life and our life is truly in danger, we've got a car racing at us or a lion is coming at us, which is the traditional story we talk about when we talk about stress. We need that surge of energy, that surge of adrenaline and cortisol, and our blood gets shunted to our extremities. So we've got extra blood in our arms and legs to be really strong so that we can fight or flee from a stressful situation. Now, we're supposed to fight or flee because that then depletes all that extra energy that we've got going, right? Because we get this surge and then that takes us, hey Shelly, welcome. And that takes us right back down into rest. I mean, think about it. When you've had a really stressful situation where you have expelled the energy, maybe you're speaking in front of 1,000 people, or maybe, God forbid, your life has been under threat and you do something about it. You know, you do the rev up, and then you feel like a washcloth has been wrung out when you're done, right? Because you've expelled all that pent up energy and you're back to zero, which is where you want to be. Unfortunately, in today's day and age, what happens is we don't go back down to zero, right? We get a surge that isn't really life-threatening. Boss comes in, you got a deadline. Kids tell you something has to happen. Your parents call and tell you something. And then maybe you come down a little bit and then something else happens and we just kind of ride here. We don't go up and then come back down to relaxation. And what that means is you're really revving. It's like you're revving your engine on neutral, and you're just kind of slowly wearing things out. Now, the other thing that happens when the blood is shunted to the extremities, to your arms and legs, during the stress response, what doesn't get energy are secondary systems. These are systems that aren't considered to be vital to life. Okay, so if you really do have a car racing toward you, these are the systems you don't need to survive in that moment. And the main ones are immune system, reproductive system, and digestive system. But here's the thing. It's okay if you got a car coming at you. It doesn't matter if you're digesting food, because you're going to be resting soon. And then digestion, immune system, and reproduction can kick in again. But if you're riding up here, then those systems are never getting energy. And that's one of the reasons we're getting all of these chronic issues with those systems, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. So we have tons of reproductive issues in the society. Not to mention, at the other end of the system, we have perimenopausal symptoms that are off the charts uncomfortable. There are many cultures in the world that don't have perimenopausal symptoms. We also have digestive issues. There are so many digestive issues going on nowadays, and immune, and that's mine, right? My immune system was chronically offline, and then that's just became my new norm. Now, here's the problem with it. Is stress just Teflon coats our fatigue? We're really exhausted underneath it, but we can keep going and going and going and keep going and keep doing stuff and keep doing stuff and keep doing stuff. And what I really wanted to help you do with this 30-day energy boost is to help you get into a full relaxation mode, to actually find true energy, not stimulated energy. So sugar, caffeine, we talked about that last week, stimulated energy. And this week, it's adrenalized energy, okay? So I used to joke adrenaline was my drug of choice, and the truth is I really was addicted. I still am addicted to adrenaline. It's something I have to constantly choose to not do. And I go through periods of time when I'm hopped up on adrenaline. I joke, sort of. The reason it's not really a joke, I'm a recovering stressaholic. And it's that addiction to stress, to adrenaline, that I have to work with all the time. So that's what I want to talk about this week. The 4 tips I'm going to share are around stress, relaxation, and moving the body, which really helps you with the stress. Okay? So tip number 1 is to create an intentional relaxation practice. Some sort of relaxation practice. Here's the thing with stress. If you have an event or an episode, as we call it, that really causes your stress to go up, so something really tragic has happened, and we've all had that experience, when you really feel it zing up, even after it's gone, you don't go back to relaxation unless you do something intentional that shifts the mind and body. So if 1 is relaxed and 10 is the most stressed you've ever experienced, and you have this episode, or it could also be chronic prolonged stress, so you have something that went on in your life that was really hard, a divorce, money issues. These are the things that keep us in that fight or flight constantly because it's really intense, or work challenges, whatever. Then if you get to, if you're at a 12 on a scale of 1 to 10, if you get down to 8, you're going to feel relaxed. So often people say after an event, I'll say, okay, so what are you doing to relax? And they'll say, I'm good. I actually feel good. But they haven't done anything to really help their body let go. Then they're not. They're feeling better than they were at 12, but it's all relative. An 8 compared to 12 is really good, but it's a far cry from a 1 or even a 0. So we want to have a regular practice. The other benefit of it is most of us ride, this is my own opinion, from my experience, most of us in today's day and age ride between 5 and 8. That's just where we are. We're just constantly between 5 and 8. Occasionally we might go on that week-long vacation, but I think you and I both know it takes 7 days just to help yourself begin to relax. So you might get down to 2 or 3, and then we get back and we're right back up, right? we want to work on having a regular practice that helps us get down to maybe a 3 or maybe even a 2 or a 1. So creating some sort of practice. It could be breathing, meditation, yoga, exercise, which we'll talk about in a moment. And tomorrow when I post about it, excuse me, I'm going to share some of my favorite apps, free apps that are out there that I like to use for myself for my own relaxation practice. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2, exercise. Exercise plus fresh air is amazing. Okay, so when you experience stress, and it's a twofer, okay? When you experience stress, you're getting yourself all revved up. Sometimes you need to expel that energy. You can't just do a relaxation practice. You got to do something to get all of that energy, that revved up, out of you. And doing some sort of intense exercise, meaning not just weight training, but a run or some sort of cardiovascular, a good brisk walk, and especially in fresh air, really helps you expel that. The other thing, so I said it was 2 first. Not only does it help you expel that pent up stress energy, which will help you relax, it also gives you energy. I mean, think about it. When you do a little bit of exercise, you feel so much more energy. As a result, you feel so much better. It's amazing. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you when we post about it is I'm going to share with you my favorite YouTube channel, fitness YouTube channel that I really love. They've got hundreds of videos and it's awesome. Okay, number 3, stretch. Did you know yoga was going to come up here? Gotta know it's going to come up, right? But here's the thing, not just necessarily yoga, but at least stretching. When you're experiencing stress, okay, and the body tenses up, getting ready to spring into action, that tension stays. Okay, even if you're going for a run and releasing the pent up, it helps. But how many of us have tension in our shoulders or our lower back or our gut or our jaw where we're holding stress? And that's because we've experienced stress and we haven't let it go. And here's the thing, if you're already in that sprung state, do you think you're going to overreact when something hits? Yeah. Something that might have been like a spike, maybe you're riding at 5, you might have spiked to 8, but you already have a lot of tension in the body, you might spike to 10 because that mind-body connection is really strong. If we stretch that area, it begins to help release it, relax that pent-up tension, and then it allows us to, 1, be calmer, and or 2, become more resilient to stress. And the pent-up energy is exhausting. So as we let it go, I mean, think if you just sit here, sometimes when I teach about stress, I'll have the audience just lift their shoulders and hold them there. And then I'll start talking, pretending like I don't even know that they're holding it there. And a couple minutes later, I make them hold it a long time. 2 minutes feels like forever. I'll say, oh, that's right, your shoulders are up, huh? How's it feel? And it's tiring. And yet, how many times do you think relax my shoulders and you were holding it there subconsciously? You weren't even aware it was up there. So that is exhausting and it begins to wear out our very finite units of energy. So as we let go of that pent-up energy, we will start to feel better. It's a good thing. It's a really good thing. Now, I will be sharing with you a really brief desk yoga series that I put together. So I'll be posting that when we get to that. Now, the 4th thing you can use is, of course, Young Living, right? There are so many Young Living products, and this, by the way, I'm barely going to scratch the surface. I'm just going to quickly mention them, and then we'll talk more about them as we go forward. With this, let's start with stress. So my favorite stress, it's not really a stress supplement. That sounds really good, right? This is what I take to be stressed. No. My favorite supplement when I'm feeling stressed to take is Cortistop. So what happens when you're feeling stressed is you get into the cycle, right? And this is when you're riding high. You're riding really, really high on the scale. You barely go down and go back up, and you kind of can't let down. I call it exhaling. I can't get to... It's just like one thing after the other, after the other, after the other. And it's called a cortisol syndrome, and you're just caught. Your cortisol, which is a hormone of stress, is caught, and you can't break it. Cortistop supports the system to help you move into more of the exhale. Okay, it's not meant to be taken forever. It's a very short period of time. Read the directions. What's great about it is it helps you get into that exhale. I've only had to take it a couple of times, but when I've gone through extreme stress and I just feel like I can't lie down, I can't let go, it's like, it's time for Cortistop. The oils I recommend, now, I gotta tell you, there isn't an oil that's the wrong one to use. All of them will help you in this situation. Now, I'm going to share my 2 favorites, but even then there's more, so feel free to post below if you have your favorite that I haven't mentioned. I just had to limit it. I mean, you're not going to sit here through 17 different oils. Lavender, duh, comes in your premium starter kit. You probably have it. It is an amazing support for your nervous system. And then Stress Away comes in your starter kit. Stress Away is kind of self-explanatory. It smells so good. I'm telling you, I smell it and I go, it's so good. I love that aroma. So those are my 3 for stress. Exercise. I have 5. I'm going to make them super quick. You got Ningxia Red and Nitro. Duh. Ningxia Red, your antioxidant. It's going to give you support the whole body when you're under stress. That's a good thing. But also your body releases more antioxidants when you're stressed. And this is releases more free radicals, the bad stuff, when you're feeling stressed, and antioxidants help counter that. So you definitely want that. Nitro helps you get the energy for your workout. So this is really brilliant. And then I want to talk about 3 you might not be familiar with. Pure Protein Complete is Young Living's. Young Living has 4 different smoothie mixes, okay? Pure Protein Complete has 2 flavors. That's 2 of them. There's vanilla chai and chocolate. They're amazing, okay? Definitely have protein in them, which is a good thing. But they also have lots of good things. The protein comes from 5 different sources, which is really important. Often these smoothies have protein from one source, and the more you take it, the more sensitive you get to that source, and not a good way. They also have sugars, added sugars, and fillers. Young Living has none of that. You guys, it's the cleanest I've ever found. But Pure Protein Complete also has ingredients that help. It's basically pre-ATP. It's what helps your body process ATP, adenosine triphosphate, which is your energy, basically. It's your energy source. So Pure Protein Complete will give you the energy for exercise. If you're working on getting more protein because of exercise, it's going to help. And it's also going to help you feel more energy. It's a 3-fer. It's awesome. The next one is AminoWise. I think I need to post about AminoWise because I want to keep this video pretty short. If you've looked at it and you thought, what the heck is that? AminoWise is your amino acid supplement, and it is great, especially for recovery. So I didn't think I needed it because I'm not an athlete. It gives you a nice source of energy through the day. And my sister was the one who finally got me to take it because she takes this really she takes a boot camp workout in the morning, early morning. And she said when she does the AminoWise, as she's working out and during recovery, so I do a full water bottle and I put in a scoop into there for my workout, and then I finish drinking it afterwards. But she said, I can make it up the stairs. And that made a difference for me. You know how when you work out, you're kind of like, oh, these stairs are really long, heavy. That it helps. And I'm not as sore. I teach a lot of exercise classes during the week, so I'm not as sore, which helps for sure. Finally, PowerJize. Okay, this one is it was made for men specifically, but women can absolutely use it. This one will give you an oomph, okay? It's going to give you an oomph to feel stronger. It also has in it ashwagandha. You might want to look that up. Ashwagandha is an amazing supplement. It's used a lot in Indian medicine. It's an Ayurvedic herb that's given to all doshas. So it's one of those things that's good for everyone, and it is awesome. So it's great for exercise, but it's also good for energy. So it's all good. All right, that covers it. All right, you guys, let's quickly review. Number 1, relaxation. So these are, you remember you want to pick one that you're going to start on Friday and do all weekend if you're joining us live. First is relaxation, intentional relaxation technique. Tomorrow I will be sharing some apps that you can download to help you with this. The second thing you could do is exercise plus fresh air, so getting a little exercise outside. The third thing is stretching. I will be sharing some yoga with you guys, of course. And the fourth thing is using some of Young Living's products on a regular basis to really help you relax so that you can let go of the stress and you can step into a more profound energy source, which is your own, a genuine one. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. Go ahead and post below. I'd love to hear your favorite relaxation supplement or exercise supplement from Young Living that you like to use. Thanks for joining me, guys. Have a great day.